Hello everyone, back to episode 2 of the Music Therapy and You. I hope everyone enjoyed episode 1 last week. I actually uploaded a couple days early. I wanted this to be a Thursday upload, but I was so excited just sitting on the final product that I ended up uploading it 2 days early. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Going straight into our topic today, is heavy metal and what they call extreme music just as beneficial in a music therapy aspect as something soothing and relaxing? We're just going to use classical as our default. So, how many metalheads do I have out there? I want to know, why do you listen to it? Why do people enjoy extreme music in all its forms? And I'm saying extreme music during this because we're going to be talking about some case studies, and that is the umbrella term that they use to talk about, the heavy metal, the screamo, the emo, the grunge, all of those combined just into one umbrella term is extreme music. I started my shift. I talked about this a little bit in episode 1 in my freshman year of high school. I went from a very small middle school to a very large high school, and it was a very intimidating time for me. And at that point, I wasn't really doing well mentally, and it turned into what you might expect. I began to self-injure and build up a lot of self-hate and depression, all these things. So I'm here walking around this 6-story high school wearing too many bracelets to cover the scars with Evanescence on repeat. Is what I was doing bad or good? Was listening to those songs triggering me, or were they keeping me off the edge of insanity? I mean, I know it's bad, but does it help or does it hinder the millions of teenagers and young adults? Hell, any age group that listens to this genre, is it doing them any good or is it just hurting them? And my answer, or my opinion, while there are bads, and the answer is a little bit of both, but I'm here today to talk about how it can help. Now, we all know about the bad, the mosh pits, the mental state everyone thinks they know we must be in to enjoy this quote-unquote trash. The fear that some people have when they see a fan dressed the way they enjoy dressing, saying it's just a phase. Even I admitted in my last episode that the feelings that I was channeling from Amy's songs were kind of putting me more into my rut than not, and kind of making it worse. But in a generalized term, that isn't completely true. And to answer this question, we're going to have to travel a little farther down the extreme music hole than just Evanescence. I'm talking Metallica, Asking Alexandria, Suicide Silence. Those kinds of songs to me, and let me know if you agree, gave me something that, the deepest wounds, the darkest poems, the hardest cries couldn't cure. And that was just being able to scream, to just get those painful feelings, those negative emotions off of your chest and away from your heart. There were times where all I wanted to do was just scream until my lungs gave out, but I couldn't, because I was always around someone who didn't know, who couldn't know what I'd done, what I was doing, the self-injury. So those songs, blasting that music in my ears at frequencies that probably shouldn't even be legal, gave me the only amount of calm and rest that I probably felt I could get being a young teen with a spiraling mental state. It's like the songs were screaming for me. And now I'm not here to tell you that instead of dealing with your problems, you should just go blast some Slipknot until your death. But I am here to say that there's a psychology to the phenomena of that type of music being just as healing, as potent as George Walker's Lyric for Strings, which is a great piece by an African-American composer that you should go listen to for Black History Month. What I am here to tell you, though, is that it does help, and no, you aren't weird or crazy. There's actual scientific studies that show for certain people who are already a fan of the genre, it gives us similar positive effects like anyone else listening to their favorite genres. Just because ours is farther from normal, in quotations, and scares some people, it doesn't mean that it doesn't make us feel good when we listen to it. I'm going to be sticking to more recent studies and research unless I find something really worth smushing into my little segment, since heavy metal and all the extreme music have evolved and changed so much since it was first brought into the scene. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just here to be a giver of knowledge and to maybe propose the idea that if music therapy can exist, then it can exist with any music and any genre. So we start off with a study that was done in 2013 that observed over 500 university students and their favorite types of music. They divide them into two groups, those who preferred heavy metal and those who did not. I don't know if they preferred heavy metal exclusively, but the heavy metal music fans showed significantly higher symptoms of depression and anxiety, which is something that we all know about. Yes, we know about that. But the important thing here is that there was also no difference between the two groups on anger. And that is important because that is something that has been stapled to us, and just we can't let go of it. This feeling that because we listen to this music that we're evil and we're satanic and we are violent and we are angry, and that is the furthest from the truth in most cases. So the actual observing part of the study came from getting the students angry and then putting them either in silence or having them listen to heavy metal. And now those who listen to the extreme music did not show an increase in heart rate or hostility. They did show a decrease that was equivalent to those who sat in silence. So this is saying that if you are angry, listening to heavy metal does not make you more angry. The extreme music group's heart rate stabilized and did not continue to rise, suggesting that the music group was taking the music into consideration, and it wasn't there for no reason, because in the silence group, the heart rate reduced completely, returning to baseline. So this brings about the idea to the contrary that extreme music causes anger and promotes aggressive behavior. I want to try and go even farther than this. I want to see if this case study can present the idea that metal can be considered even loosely as music therapy for some. This result that I found actually expounds on earlier research done in 2007 that reported that personally selected music of any genre was just as relaxing as classical music. Further observations from the study on two other positive emotions showed music listening helped participants to feel these positive emotions. Most participants in the study who listened to their select extreme music experienced a significant increase in feelings of inspiration rather than anger. The effects of this music on increasing physiological positivity are talked about in research that shows that music can evoke experiences of power, and it doesn't even have to have lyrics. It's not even about the screaming in most cases. Research felt that focusing on sadness might help shed light on music and anger processing. Studies show that most people listen to music to immerse themselves in the sadness, to help them understand their sadness and to feel better. They have them where the individuals connect with their emotions through the music to fully experience and improve their effect. Now, of course, there are plenty of articles to the contrary of everything we've already been talking about so far. And I'm not here to say that everything about the genre is great. There's one specifically that came out just this past April that talks a lot about manifestations and this term analogous, which if you don't know is an adjective that means comparable in certain aspects, typically in a way that makes clear the nature of the things compared. So to me, this is basically just saying that the study is correlation, and if you've ever taken a psych class, you know what that means, that correlation does not equal causation. In the end, studies show that listening to music that you enjoy in any capacity helps to reduce your anger and calm you down. That's just how music works on our brains, because we're such creative creatures. And if your favorite band just happens to be Five Finger Death Punch, then that's okay. It's just as soothing to you as an aria is to everyone else, and that is music therapy at its finest. Thanks everyone for listening all the way to the end of episode 2 of Music Therapy and You. I hope you all enjoyed and learned a little bit something today. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up and leave a comment or a question with your thoughts and your questions. Do you love heavy metal and agree with any of this? Do you not agree? Let me know why, and we can have a nice healthy debate in the comments. If you want to continue your research from here, I'll leave links to the case studies I found in the description box below. Thanks again for listening. Subscribe if you liked it, and I'll hear you all back here for episode 2. Bye.